for Human Services Commission on this fine Monday evening, August 4th, 2025. And I'm calling it at 7:02. And did we receive any public comment? Any additions to the agenda? So we have two sets of minutes. The first was June 2nd, which was a regular meeting. I'll give you time to take a look, but I make a motion to accept the minutes, and then we can do some discussion after a second.
I'll second.
Erin, thank you. So is there anything that needs any
Are
amending?
you making a motion to accept both minutes
I
or
was going
one
to do
minute?
one at a time.
1 minute, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. So you made a motion
For
to
the
accept the June 2nd
Yes.
minutes, and Aaron second.
Right.
Was
Okay.
everybody here last?
I can tell you, I'm right here. Oh,
So
so Erin needs
Oh,
to
I-
abstain.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
second.
just Erin.
On the second. I did attend the special meeting. but-
Yes.
Right, so that would be Janet, Deepa, Arnie, Kathy. and Aaron. Abstain. Sorry, we're good.
And all in favor? Except,
Aye.
okay,
I vote.
unanimous. And we'll go on to the special meeting on the 26th, yes, of June. And I'll make a motion to accept the special meeting minutes for June 26th. Thank you, Janet's going to second that. And Angela has started. I don't know how many of you have met her.
Hang on a second.
Yep.
Is anybody abstaining from
Oh,
the
but-
26th? I didn't
No,
actually,
no one's here, that wasn't there.
Yeah, we're okay now with that one.
so it's unanimous. Did they actually vote?
No, it'll be in unanimous. No discussion or no clarifications. All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion passes. Oops, I keep dropping things, that's okay. I'll get
And now
it.
I would say that since the 26th was about hiring an administrative professional, that you all got an email from her now, and so she has definitely started.
Yes, that's right. Okay, very good. So, youth services report.
Hi everyone, happy summer. So I'll go back and kind of review what we did in June and July as well, and moving forward. We had a kickball tournament at the middle school in June, the last day of school. So because the kids really don't have much to do, when they come outside, they play kickball, and then we provide snacks for them. So usually we have popsicles, water, and maybe some salty snacks. And it's a nice way to kind of end the school year. Our youth evening program, so we helped to sponsor the 8th grade graduation party with the PTSO. There were 109 kids there. It was at the Aria in Prospect, which is really lovely. Some of the parents said, I couldn't afford this for my wedding. So, but the kids had a nice time. They did. I think by like the beginning of the 4th hour, it started to trail off. Like they had had enough, I think. They
I have a
probably
question,
could have done
Nancy,
it in a
just
few
in
hours.
terms of the stuff in general.
Mhm.
A lot of the stuff that's done is done in combination with the PTSO or the school or whatever. Do people, the parents, understand that it's not just a school function, that that the youth services is really a part of it? And so,
Not always, not
Yeah.
always. The PTSO meetings are not well attended at all. There's a couple of parents who are there, usually one or two, honestly, from the PTSO. People can tune in. Sometimes there's one or two on Zoom. So they don't always, it goes out in the newsletter. I mean, there's a weekly newsletter. Whether parents read it or not is another story, because they're always surprised sometimes when I tell them we're having something and say, I didn't see that. Well, I'm on the last page. So
yeah.
And sometimes the school puts something out and the way they word it might be a little different from the way I would word it. I know that, we have something coming up and I sent something and my wording got, changed a little bit. So, I try to write so that people really understand exactly what's going on and how things are gonna line up. But not every parent understands.
Yeah, it seems like we're probably not getting the credit.
Well,
Because probably the school.
We don't, and I asked the
district
PTO
for stuff,
to add it to the newsletter that we would get credit. I haven't seen it yet.
Right, but since it's going out in a PTO newsletter and a school newsletter, parents don't make the differentiation that it's
Right.
actually Woodbridge Youth Services.
Right.
So that's hard.
So that was,
Yeah.
that was sort of the, I don't know
Yes,
how
I
you
mean,
do
we
it.
do like Woodbridge Youth Services News, except that we
Yeah.
follow the last page of the newsletter every time. And sometimes they don't have much space, so they call it YS News. Do people know what YS is? No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't, I doubt it. So it is frustrating at times, because I'm like, could you just give a little plug, a little thank you for a sponsorship or something?
Yeah.
As an incoming middle school parent,
Mhm.
I just.
Congratulations.
The,
Wonderful period.
yes.
You'll love it.
This month, the letter from Dr. Tracy does list your section as Woodbridge Youth Services
Good.
News.
Mhm.
And has all the
Mhm.
information clearly stated as,
But if you
Woodbridge
read the
Youth
first few lines about the open house, you'll see that
let me scroll up.
it's always a little confusing because
Yes.
I usually send something out, so I'll explain the open house as it comes, but it doesn't always get worded exactly how I word it. There's a lot of information that the principal deals with to put that newsletter together, and, not the only one. So I appreciate the fact that they share, because we don't have a newspaper in print. And how many parents are really gonna take time? You've got 3 kids, maybe, you're not gonna take time to go to the Patch or Woodbridge Town News and look everything up. You need it, and you need it fast. So, and sometimes they don't get to read until the last minute. So I appreciate what parents go through. It's hard, it really is. Jen's smiling.
We've all been there.
Haven't we? Oh my
Now we
gosh.
can say that.
3 schools at the same time is always, that was my good year.
When we had here.
Yeah, that was the good year, 3 at the same time. I would just drive. I kept saying, we need a gas station and a sandwich shop in the middle of town, because I just darted everywhere and I'd run out of gas. Oh, that's crazy. But anyway, but the kids had a pretty good time. And it's always fun to see them all get dressed up at the 8th grade graduation party. It's a big deal to them. So we did sponsor the Harlem Wizards at the summer camp this year. It's a one-man show, and it's a great event. The kids just love it. They scream their little hearts out, and it's interactive, so they get to be part of the show, and they love it when the counselors get up and they can laugh at the counselors. So that's always a great time, and it's usually a day that's well attended because they love it. And when they get to try on like the sneakers that are whatever size they are, 17s or whatever, it's just so fun to see the kids try them on and run, try to run. So Job Bank has been doing pretty well. I've been trying to keep up with that and everything else that's going on, and considering the moves in and out. Did move back to my office finally, fairly recently, so there's still a lot.
July 2nd.
A lot to put away. There's still much to put away because there's a lot of planning that's going on now. But it's good to be back in the building, and kind of, and nice to have an admin now so that we can get some help. Really appreciate it. So we're, still doing some interviews for Job Bank. I did have to put a few kids off just because I had hurt my knee, I guess, and so I put a few kids off. So I'm catching up with some of the Job Bank interviews. But I just had a kid in today who was just but before he left, someone came in and needed somebody, and I was able to give him the job. It worked out, so he was excited to go. And I'm just seeing where a lot of kids are saying, oh, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that, but I am getting some of the older ones, and I think they realize in senior year, or when they graduate, oh, I'm going to college, I need money, So I really keep those kids busy. Very smiling. Because people call me and say, I want a big burly guy. I don't always have many of those, so nice if I can have a big guy do some of the bigger jobs. Very helpful. What else is going on? Red Cross cross babysitting, so we have our babysitter training this Wednesday and Thursday mornings. It runs from 9 to 1. It was a little slow signing up in the beginning, because we usually do it a little bit later in the year, but the instructor couldn't make it the week before school starts. But I had a parent come in the other day and she said, do you mind if I share it within my community? I said, that's great, that's fine. And had several more signups in the last, 2 or 3 days. So we're come up to 10 or 11 right now. I mean, our limit has to be 13 at the very most, just because there's hands-on and we need one-on-one attention. But that should be fun. Seventh grade.
Where do you do that?
I'm doing it over the library meeting room. I move it around, it just depends on where I get space, because,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of program space sometimes in this building, especially during the day. But book the library meeting room, and it's a really nice space. There's a little kitchenette, so I can keep snacks in there. There's space to have a snack, and it's comfortable. It's really comfortable for the kids. And it's easy for the teacher to come in. She can get on her Wi-Fi, plug right in, the screen, push the button, the screen comes down. It's nice, it's a nice space. And this is nice here too, like for after school space, this is nice if I can get it, but being that it's in the morning,
Yeah,
I will do it here. So, let's see, what else is coming up? So we've got the 7th grade picnic coming up. I hope
I will be
coming to
there.
that one.
Yes.
Need volunteers, folks, anyone who wants to jump right in. It's really fun. So we'll have an inflatable, we'll have the hippo chow down again. It looks like the Hungry Hungry Hippos game. And the kids get like bungeed and they have to get the balls and try to get them in the middle and they get pulled back. So that's fun, and it's fun to watch too. So we'll have that, we have the DJ, we'll order pizza, have some snacks for the kids. So that should be a fun night. That's gonna be at the middle school, outside on the back field, if it's a nice day, hoping it's a nice day. But again, we have to have ice in the back of our head if it's outside, because we run a lot. So I'm hoping I have enough staff and volunteers so I don't have to run too much. What else is going on? So that is, so that's on the 21st. That runs from 5:30 to 7:30. So it will be kind of a dinner picnic for the kids. Fees $10, and should be a fun evening. We're getting some signups, but usually the signups come at the very last minute with the reminders. And they should know about it. It did go out about 3-4 times so far. And I just wanted to add something there on the kids are returning to school on the 25th. That's a Monday, and they have like 2 short days. And then September 9th, I heard, if I have that date right, is the back to school night. So usually I go to that and set up a table, share information, hand out pens or whatever, and talk to parents and try to get people to sign up, give me their email addresses and sign up to volunteer. So that's helpful. Grant updates. So the new grant application was submitted. We had to add an impact plan this year. Jeanette and I worked on that together, and they came back and they said, here's some changes you should make, and we made them, and I haven't heard anything back on that one. But the allocation this year is the same as last year, so I gave you all the amounts there. Usual base grant is $14,103, and the town has to match that. And then there's a supplemental grant, which is $2,744. That comes and goes depending on how much is available and how many youth service departments we have this year. And also the enhancement grant is $8,604. We usually use that for the after-school guided study program at Beecher Road School. So, and then we had data due last week, so it was a long week, but we had to submit the quarterly data and then end of year financial information and all the collaborations that we do. So that got in. Skin of my teeth, but it got in.
And the skin of your teeth.
As is most people's, I guess.
Yep.
So I'm interviewing for per diem people, because I do need a few more evening program per diem persons. There's just never enough to really count on. So we want a few more. So we have an interview with one young man tomorrow, and hoping to have a few more people.
What kind of people usually apply for those?
They don't make much money right now.
Teachers or?
No, teachers won't make enough money. They don't.
No.
We talk to them, they're interested because it's a little extra, and then we tell them what the hourly rate is, and they go, no. It's tough.
Your
Tough to
college
get people.
kids?
Right now, the one I'm interviewing tomorrow is college kid. Yeah, I had him in job bank, and he was a good job bank worker,
Yeah.
so I thought, job. And he's got 2 years into Southern now, so he's a good kid. And he worked for rec in the past, and I heard good things from rec department.
He has a
so.
friend. It's true. Yeah, right.
Sometimes parents, just, we put it in the paper and you get an odd person here and there, but oftentimes, when you try to explain to somebody, or you work a few times, it's not always easy. I mean, it's loading the car, unloading the car, taking boxes down the hall and setting up the food or whatever, running things in and outside, and then watching the kids, telling volunteers what to do, telling our volunteers at the front desk what to do. So it's, but it's a lot of like running through the night, and then the cleanup afterwards, and making sure that kids get in the cars safely in the parking lot, because that's always interesting.
Yeah.
Making sure we don't lose anybody.
But
They try.
It's nice
They try.
if a parent comes to like 2 in a row to say, listen, you're coming anyway, we can tell.
Mhm.
You're gonna be coming as long as your kid is in 7th grade. Why don't you get paid a few dollars? It's not much, but,
Yeah.
and then we can count on them.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's more of an interest if you have a child coming anyway, if they're agreeable to your coming, because some kids are like,
Yeah.
oh, not my parent. I had a parent on the phone once, the kid was in the background screaming, no, you can't go, and I thought, ooh, you've got your own problems there. My kids, I just said, look, I won't even look at you unless you do something stupid, and then, or if Beyonce comes on and we wink at each other or something, but other than that.
My father drove me to the Orange Junior High for my 7th grade first dance. He got out of the car and I wouldn't get out.
Oh.
And so I rolled down the window and said, Dad, I will go in, but you have to stay in the car. He wanted to walk me in, check it out.
Oh. Well, any parent who tries to do that, no, they get
You
stopped.
still have.
Oh, yeah, he got back in the car.
Well, it's interesting how many parents come, especially to the 7th grade picnic, because they'll say, oh, is it for the families? No, this is time to drop your kid off, they're growing up now. And then they want to hang around. I said, if you're going to stay, you have to sign in as a volunteer. And then usually they make a decision if you're going to stay. I say it with a smile.
Here's a table, would you move it over there?
Here's your sign in, here's your name tag, and here's your assignment. That's what we do. So we're hoping for a really nice evening and hoping to make it fun. Because once everybody's signed in and I have enough people, then I go, it's just that moment, sigh of relief.
What I remember about those dances, the first, well, Daddy, all of the kids are wearing dresses this short. I'm going, all but one.
I was that parent too.
And of course you get there, and she was right. And you're going,
Oh my goodness,
Oh
that,
my God.
yeah, that 8th grade dance,
Oh, yeah.
that's funny. One parent said, how do you get your daughter to wear, the right clothes? I said, there's this word, it's called no. No. It works for me.
yeah, I know. It takes practice though.
It does, and you have, it takes
You're
some
writing it
heat.
all down
It
there.
takes some heat. At this moment, yes,
Well acquainted with the word no.
that's it. I'm your mom, not your best buddy. I'm sorry.
All right,
There's a difference.
before we
but-
scare anybody further, I'll make a
It's all
motion
good. It's all good.
to accept the youth services report. Pat, okay, thank you. And
Remember
any
when.
discussion? I think we had our discussion. All in favor? Okay,
Gotta
very
love
good.
them.
All right, the Woodbridge
Well
Center
done.
report, that was emailed before,
Yeah, it's just a couple of
hot
hours
off
ago.
the press.
So it's fresh in your head. There was a lot going on the past couple of months since we met, and there's a lot coming up. So I changed my report a little, trying to make it more concise, so I categorized it. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Can change it. For craft programs, Milford Health and Rehab provided another silk scarf painting craft in June, and they'll offer a summer shadow box craft in August. We have a model.
We have a model.
That
It's my scarf.
To the runway.
I don't know how to tie them though.
That's the next class.
That's it. Oh, that's what we need.
It's very pretty. It was a lot of fun doing it. And if anybody could ever get a chance to do any of the crafts, if you could, even if you just sit in and watch everybody, it's a lot of fun. I never thought I could do something like
Very
that.
nice.
Yes,
It's different.
Yeah.
So, that's my scarf. You're doing the shadow boxes?
in August.
Yeah, I signed up for that too. Got to see what that's gonna be.
Yeah. That'll
If
be
it comes
fun.
out good, I'll bring it next meeting.
Yeah, really.
Maybe just a picture on your phone.
Or they're small, they're portable. And then for educational programs, we had the Coffee and Learn the Protest 10, the amazing architectural sculpture from 10 American colleges and universities by Matthew Duman. That was offered in June, as I said. Everybody that attended thought it was really interesting. The July AAA driver improvement class was canceled due to low registration. We've been having more classes offered due to the grant, so in summer. Plus AAA doesn't really advertise, where ARP does, so probably added to it. The Senior Learning Network's weekly virtual learning programs will resume in August. We offered them in May, and they were very popular. People that came really liked them and enjoyed them, and there's a lot of interest for the ones that are coming up, which I have listed in my report. I won't go through them all, but they're good and they're different, and they offer them from across the United States at different libraries or museums and things like that. For fitness, health, and wellness, the outdoor pickleball courts have been repaired with new lines painted. All of the tennis courts now have pickleball lines so that there's more flexibility for use. And we have 22 people that registered for a 6-week Qigong Taiji class that began in July. This class immediately followed the Tai Chi Quan program that we offer that's through the grant. And I recently applied through Connecticut Healthy Living Collective to receive funding for an additional grant for the Tai Chi Quan program. If we are awarded the funding, that session will begin in the fall. We've been very fortunate to be one of the recipients for the grant in the past, so we're hopeful that that will continue. For luncheons, we had the Father's Day luncheon in June that was sponsored by Visiting Angels of Woodbridge. At the luncheon, we had dad jokes scattered around the table that people were telling each other. We had adhesive mustaches and our traditional Rupert floats. Carmine's provided a hot lunch, and there was live music there as well. Kathy and Jeanette helped out, which was great. After the next day, I received a letter that I want to share from one of the people that attended. She said, "Good morning, Christy. Just want you to know that our table had the best time of our lives between all the jokes you put on the table. And then when we all put on our mustaches," a little picture. Can't wait to see the pictures. I love being with the group because when I come to the center, it's my home away from home, and everybody is so nice and caring, including you and Rosie. So the lunch was really good, and I enjoyed it.
It's really
It's
nice.
really nice. We had more than 90 people attend the July annual indoor picnic that was sponsored by the Woodbridge PD and the law firm of Resnick, Sergeant Capiello, and Bob Hauser from maintenance, and the grill, with Detective Lizzie from the food in.
It was a fun time.
This is the you got the empty pants on. This is the first year we didn't have Chief Capiello because he retired, so his son stepped in, which was very nice. And so we were able to continue that. Kathy and Jeanette helped out with that again. And that takes a lot of work. I think that's one of our luncheons that requires the most work. It's, you know, the other ones come fully catered and now, and there's a lot of prep work leading up to it. So we're happy it went well and believe that it's done. There was a lot of volunteers that helped out and set up planning.
Yeah, there were others, you had some new volunteers,
Mhm.
right?
And then due to a mix-up in scheduling the music, we were able to have music the following week and an unexpected lunch that I just offered. I just had sandwiches. There was 22 people that came to that. And actually, after the picnic lunch, I had several people come up to me and actually thank me for not having the music because it's easier to hear, especially with that many people. And frequently the music gets drowned out when you get a full room. That's my excuse for that.
Well, and for the musician, everybody's
Yeah.
talking and moving around,
It's nice.
and nobody's paying attention to them, and
Right.
that's kind of defeating, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
And in August, we're going to offer a Celebrate Summer Luncheon, and that'll have a hot catered lunch from Lassie's. And Autumn Lake at Willows is sponsoring that lunch. We had a lunch and learn how to prevent pickleball injuries that was presented by ProLead Physical Therapy in June. They also provided the lunch. That was a really good presentation. Brian was really good, and people walked away with a lot of good information, even if they didn't play pickleball, so.
That's really important. I was down at the gym, the JCC, the other day, and some guy came in and says, "You mind if I make a phone call?" And he's on the thing, and the conversation went, "I was an ace this person, I was a great tennis player, I was this, my grandson asked me to play pickleball, I ripped this, I tore that." You know, because you haven't done it in so long, but your mind still says you're 25. So that's an important thing, you should run that more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
The trips are very popular, and they fill up quick when we offer them. We had the ice cream excursion series begin in June, and there were monthly trips to Plasko's Farm Creamery and Cafe in Trumbull in June, and Wells Hollow Creamery in Shelton in July. And the final trip will be this Thursday to Quarry Walk to the Country Creamery, and those who go can also explore Quarry Walk and go to other restaurants or the boutiques shops there. That's full, that trip. And I lost my place.
Other.
Oh, no, I'm not done with trips.
There's another restaurant.
We had a trip in June to the Old Drake Hill Flower Bridge in Simsbury, followed by lunch at the Maple Tree Cafe. And in July, we went to the Peabody Museum in, obviously New Haven, which was followed by lunch at the Trace Galini Restaurant. That trip was full also, as was the trip to Simsbury. And later this month, we'll have a lunch bunch outing to the Housatonic House in Seymour, which is right on the river, and that trip is already full as well. Not for other.
I couldn't wait.
We had our 06525 day celebration, which was a fee-free day for the community members to try out a wide variety of things that we offer at the center. From aerobics to chair volleyball, which we don't offer yet, but
It was a
we
lot
hope
of
to.
fun.
I did too.
We had a lot of fun.
We had a lunch, and we played the movie Fountain of Youth on the big screen in the cafeteria. And then we had a shuttle that went to Peace Park to this town celebration there in the afternoon. We had an attendance for the day of 132. We planned it in less than a week. And besides the attendance, it was important because it was a really good PR event. Linda Cardozo, the selectman, had an interview with NBC Connecticut in the cafeteria, so that was nice that it was right here. There was a bunch of new people that were trying different things and different programs, even the ones that I usually attend, like Mahjong or something, were trying different programs. And we had over 1,100 views on the post-event, the post after. The event
Facebook
after.
did it.
The
Facebook post.
post after the event. I was getting there eventually. And then transportation, one of our drivers, Jeanette will get into other personnel updates, but one of our drivers resigned at the end of June, and the other two drivers have really been doing a great job filling that void and stepping in. SUV 57, I reported at the last commission meeting, had a whole bunch of repairs that were needed, and they are all completed, and the SUV is in service and running well at this time. And our 2016 van, that's the bigger van, the older van, we had to repair the pipe because it split in half due to rust.
Exhaust pipe.
Thank you. And additionally, the van failed the initial safety inspection that's required for the registration due to worn rotors and brakes, which the town mechanic was able to repair. I've been trying for over a week to get the van back in to get the inspection updated, but I'm having trouble getting it there, so I want to keep trying. And it did pass its recent emission testing, so that was good. And then for purchase updates, we were able, through our budget and fundraising dollars, to purchase a ping pong table that's been very requested. It's a lot. It's up in room 13, and people have started playing on it. We've also been able to purchase a washer and dryer, along with reusable tablecloths, so that we can think more on that rather than having to use plastic. So to support the town's sustainability efforts, we are doing that. And then with other updates, our center assistant Sharon Presner has the monitor up and running again in the cafeteria. It's between the kitchen doors, and it rotates between upcoming programs and activities and recent pictures, and it's up there. And all of the center staff is just doing a really good job filling in for our low staffing. Rose is, if anybody knows Rose, you just have a smile on your face instantly, because she just really uplifts the center. And she's really amazing. She drives the drivers to the places when they need maintenance, the vehicles need maintenance, and they have to leave the vehicles. She's the bingo caller, she's the chaperone on trips, she does the lunches, she does a lot. And
All with a smile.
And
all
never
with a smile and no complaints.
No complaints.
She's fabulous. And she also does the frozen meal inventory that she filled in since Katie left back in November. Joe, one of her drivers, also helps out with the frozen meals. And as I said before, him and Mike, the other driver, have been filling in a lot. And then lastly, our monthly attendance in June was 857, and in July it was 833, so of course the attendance numbers up there. The quarterly stats are in my report.
Yeah.
To see how they compare to recent quarters. Just a couple things to mention. Canasta had an attendance of 90 for the last quarter, so that's really taken off. We just started offering it within the last year. Mahjong has 371 for the quarterly attendance, which is up there.
And coffee and social, that went up, right?
Yeah, you serve a nice coffee.
Yeah. And the revenue went up.
well,
Or am I looking at this wrong? Let's see.
It's how the expenditures are, so.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, that was my question. I saw expenditures go up. That's basically,
so,
you're doing some buying. Yeah.
At the end of the year, it's
Right.
appropriate.
so, some of that is the, purchases that I mentioned, so
Yes.
some went through fundraising dollars, some went through, expenditures.
But you have the washer and dryer, I mean, they were, right? So, that makes sense.
The ping pong table, and it all kind of, some of the billing, it waits to the end of the year to be processed, so you kind of see it more towards the end of the fiscal year.
We're really prudent all year to make sure that if there's any emergencies or things that we absolutely have to have, like, you know, today we found out that our shredder no longer is operational. So, you know, that's a surprise. I didn't budget for a new shredder. It's not that expensive, so it'll be fine. But we hold out until May, you know, to make sure that we can cover our expenses. And then if there's anything, we then fill in where we haven't been buying. So, you know, I think it's a prudent way to go through your budget, is to wait till toward the end of the year and then trying to expend the things so you use your budget wisely.
Another example is we have the new car, and we got the seat covers and floor mats for it, so that.
Right,
Keep
and
it
you know,
looking
that line item, unfortunately, with so much trouble, we expended everything in that line item by the third quarter. And so we needed to transfer funds out of another line item to make sure we could keep the cars and vans on the road. So it's really important to just, you know, stay the course, not spend what you don't have to, and then, you know, I can't, you know, you can't focus on this enough. You never can expect the unexpected. So you want to be prepared for that. You don't want to dump that back on finance and say, oops, I spent all my money and now I need more. We just wouldn't do that.
Makes sense, thank you for explaining it. And I'll make a motion to accept the very full Woodbridge Center report. Pat? Okay, I'll get Arnie next.
Oh wait, that was Jen?
Oh, was it Jen?
I was seconding the.
I think Jen.
I will graciously
We'll put Jen,
let
'cause
you.
Pat already had it. And any discussion? All in favor? It passes unanimously, and we'll go on to human services.
Sure. Always try to get the agenda items in my report to be in order, and somehow I sort of, oh, but I want to talk about this. So just the HS office update is facility on the agenda. We were able to move finally back into our offices July 2nd. I then went on vacation for 2 weeks at that moment, so my office is still not fully unpacked, but we're getting there, and now we have admin support, so we're getting there a little faster. But it's so much better. We were siloed everywhere, and it's really great to have us, you know, upstairs, downstairs, and across the hall. The residents are better served, and it is so much easier to do our jobs. A little fewer steps. I kind of enjoyed the steps, and of course I was siloed in the library, which is lovely. So no complaints there, but I am glad to be back here. We continue to have humidity problems in the senior center. This is our third summer with high humidity. Christy's always great to take pictures of the thermostats when they're reading in the mid-70s for percentage of humidity, not the temperature, but the humidity. You know, it seemed right from the start that this center was not correctly engineered. It just hasn't been. This is a lower ground level space. It has 3 ERV units, which apparently was engineered that way with the thought that we might have 450 people in here. And as you know, with tables and chairs, we're allowed 125. And so it's just, we have too much equipment that we can't use. We can't turn on 2 of the ERVs or we just get too much humidity. So, yeah, I don't know. It's an exchange unit where the air comes in and the air, it gets cooled or heated and then it goes out. And they are right in the ceiling. We had to actually lower the ceiling to accommodate putting 3 units in there. We had to change the design for the 3 units during COVID when delivery schedules were so slow. We had to wait months for the 3rd unit. So it really, to have waited and to have changed our design for 3 units and then have them not be able to be used, it's a problem. So Tony's been in touch with Silver Petroselli. We're hopeful that at some point when Tony returns from his vacation, we'll have a solution. Clearly, a dehumidifier on the system would have been a great idea. We don't have one.
Do we have this problem beforehand?
Humidity
Yeah.
down here? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like it's a,
So they thought they were fixing it, but they didn't.
correct.
I remember being this humid before. I don't know, maybe I just wasn't aware.
We had humidity down here. There was always humidity down here. It's basement, it's summer in Connecticut. And we didn't have, we had window units. So there wasn't a lot of air exchange. But the reason that those ERVs are so important is because of COVID, we really wanted to be exchanging air and cleaning air. So if we don't have them on, then the air isn't as healthy as we are pitching it to be. We want it to be that healthy. We want to be able to clean the air when we have 100 seniors in the room.
Yeah.
That's just the prudent thing to do. So that's it in a nutshell, that we're hopeful that there'll be a solution. We're hopeful that it'll be an affordable solution. But this is our 3rd summer through, and we tried to prevent it by talking about it starting, I think, back in February and March. But we got here. Here we are. So we are getting a little traction. There was a little bit of conversation, so I'm hoping that it'll move forward at this time. Probably in time for fall. But we'll hope I can report more soon. So that's facility. Personnel. So Angela did start. She's had her first week. She's doing a great job, and she's really warm and friendly. I hope any of you who want to stop by can come and meet her. She is quite lovely, and is catching on with everything. You know, we're trying to not overwhelm her, but you know, we had this commission meeting to prepare for. We have the Living Treasure coming up, so there are things, you know, we're not going to go over holiday baskets now. We're going to live through each thing, and then next year she'll be taking them on with ownership. So, you know, it does take a little longer to train somebody, but I think it's going well. Really do. So the full-time center coordinator position, again, we received over 100 resumes. We narrowed it to 6. We interviewed 5, and we interviewed 2 a second time. We are close to making a decision. Christy and I and Kathy interviewed the second time. We decided that there were a couple of resumes that we were interested in just feeling out, because the last time we went through this, we interviewed 4, we brought 2 back for a second interview, and we chose 1. and it didn't work out. And so we found ourselves here again, and we just wanted to say, okay, we're a little gun shy. Let's just put it out for a couple more interviews and see where we get. That said, I reached out to 2 more who were just part of the first cut but didn't get calls, and I did not hear back from them today. Doesn't mean I won't hear back from them tomorrow. If I don't hear back from them tomorrow, I'd like to stay on schedule. And that schedule is the Board of Selectmen's Personnel Committee is planning to meet on Monday to hear our recommendation. So if we're not voting tonight, and this is an ask, but if anybody is available Thursday night, 10 minutes, we need 5 commissioners. I think by Thursday we will have our decision. I did not want to make this decision with an arbitrary deadline of tonight. I didn't want to rush into it. I wanted to just hold off a day or two. But I don't want to lose another month. Christy is really working so hard. And so if we meet in September and the Board of Selectmen has to get a personnel committee together, and then that's the middle of September by the time the person can start, we're really at October. I would like, if people are available Thursday night, and we'll put this out to the other commissioners who are not here, who might be able to call in for a 10-minute meeting. You know, that's all we're asking. The resume will be sent out, and we'll have hopefully background check and references by then. But I hate to do this to you, but we're not ready. We just haven't.
That'd be a phone meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably Microsoft Teams or Zoom. But I would send a link, and I'll send a poll tomorrow to see if everybody can, figure out coming. I didn't want to rush it through tonight. We didn't have a very good experience last time. And I don't know if that was explained or not, but the person who took the job had a family emergency, and that family emergency led to not being able to stay. Not something you can predict from interviews. Just, good news, we did identify a driver. We looked at 10 resumes. We interviewed 2, and this was a standout. I did submit his background check, and was told I would get it back today, but I do not. But I'd like to recommend Scott Bohannon. I sent his resume along. He's driven for First Student. He has worked for New Haven schools in custodial work. He has already applied for his endorsement had lapsed. So he's already applied for a P endorsement, and in order to apply for a P endorsement, you need a physical that is completed so you can submit the physical, and he's already had the physical and given me evidence of that. So I was like, Scott, they haven't approved you yet. You were supposed to wait until tomorrow. But he's really excited, and he seems like a nice fit for us. I've talked to one of his references. The other 2 I expect will call me back tomorrow. But I would love to have someone make a motion to hire Scott Bohannon as a driver for the Woodbridge Center Transportation Program at $18.50 per hour, contingent on a clean background check and reference check.
And his endorsement.
And his P endorsement. Thank you.
So moved. Okay.
Motions, moved.
Arnie,
Arnie.
it's not you.
What she said.
What she said.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
All in favor? Thank you. And yeah, still have a little more on your
I just
report.
wanna add that, he really likes people, he likes being around people, which was a plus, and the hours are perfect for him, so.
Oh, that's great.
When he's done this with kids, it's a big piece of cake.
Really, thank you for showing it.
And
I'm resisting.
So he's retired from First Student.
and worked with autistic children.
Mhm.
So, he,
Um,
as his reference said today, he makes everyone laugh. Even those kids on the bus were really appreciated him. So he's nice man. He's a veteran.
Yeah, maybe you got it.
And background check references and P endorsement. Sorry.
No, I wrote it down too.
Okay. 1850. And it was Arnie who made the
Yes,
motion.
Arnie beat me.
And you seconded? Okay, doing two jobs at once. Let's keep going. I'm sorry I'm taking so long.
Good.
The youth services coordinator position is vacant. Nancy and I have discussed the position. Right now, we have our temp Sue, who is no longer a temp for us as human services admin. She's filling in and giving Nancy some support and helping out. We've had a few things with data and some laptops that needed to be cleaned, a few projects for her. I'm hopeful that Nancy and I will rework the description. It's going to change a little bit. We don't think it's a good fit to have it only as program coordinator, only supporting youth services in terms of the YEP programs. It really should be helping with Job Bank, with the classes, the after-school classes. It should be, right, but I mean the babysitting and the, not the art and cupcake decorating, but the bigger classes, babysitting and Home Alone. So we're gonna rework it and then we're gonna advertise it and see if we can get somebody for a few, probably less hours than we've been doing, just to see how that works. But for now, we've got Sue, and we're hoping to hire a couple of per diems who can, potentially the kid we're gonna talk to tomorrow, can make himself available to be the schlepper as well, so that Nancy is not left loading vehicles and unloading vehicles at the end of the night, that she has somebody who's willing to put in a few extra hours to do that work, and not just show up at the program and then leave when the last kid gets in the car. We need a little extra help for her, so that she's not physically doing this work.
Can he be the runner?
Oh, well, we're all the runners, I guess, but it's really coming back here at night
Yeah, to bring
alone, like you don't wanna do it alone. And Lainey and I always did that together, and if Mark's here, he'll help. He'll help if he's here.
Okay, so that's it for personnel. Programming we'll do this as quickly as possible. We have a third, which is really our fourth, because we did that extra one, blood drive on the 15th. And there's some advertising that's coming out for that. The American Red Cross is great. They just send me the flyers, and they're, picked from like 14 different flyers, and they all have our information correct. And it's really been quite nice working with this woman, Alicia Cummings, her name is. She's terrific. And then we have vaccine clinics coming. We'll do the 5 different vaccines in 3 clinics. So there'll be flu and COVID and RSV and shingles and pneumovax. And we set 3 dates. So we have them early, mid, and late, depending on your comfort zone with when you like your flu shot. Some people like it so they don't get flu right away in the fall, and some people want it to last into March, April, so they get it later. So we have that with Valley Pharmacy again. And we'll do the Alzheimer's walk again. There happens to be a link here if anybody wants to support our efforts, has a passion about Alzheimer's, as I do and others do. We'll do our little walk around town. We usually raise a couple $100. That is not been set. Our date has not been set because it's really hard if we're running behind on our living treasure planning to have to take out an hour of the day to do the walk, but if we're doing great, so I have to schedule it probably earlier in the month rather than later. The living treasure is taking up a good portion of our time now. The nominees will be announced by the end of the week, and these are ad forms and silent auction forms, so the ads, quarter page, half page, full page, color. Those are on here, and silent auction if you happen to go get your hair done and want to pick up a gift card at your place, or you like to eat at a certain restaurant and want to get a gift card, or you want to talk to Toll Brothers again, because that was so hard last time, but great. It worked out great.
She's not there anymore, there's somebody else there.
Oh, good, so maybe it'll be easier.
Easier. Or we could always use bottles of wine. If you have a liquor store that you like to use, see if they'll donate a bottle, and because we always need something to fill up the basket.
Do you realize, by the way, the date is the day after Rosh Hashanah?
I do realize, but I talked to all the Jewish people I knew at the time, including my family members, and everybody was good with the date. No, it's the day after. So I figure, okay, you went to temple one night, you can come to the Living Treasure the next night. We'll let you out earlier than temple. And it was a choice between that and Yom Kippur. And I said, you don't want to do that. So I'm going to pass these around. People should take a few. We have some save the dates. If anybody goes to a place where they could post this. And if you really want a nice one, I can print it in color. So we'll just pass those few around. I think
Yes, I
once
put it
the winners are announced, I think we'll have no problem selling tickets. It's a municipal election year, and I think everybody will want to show up, and those who are running for office, those who have a connection to the winners, I think they'll show up. If we get lucky enough to sell a lot of tickets, there is the option to move the event from here to the gym and just go big again. In 18 and 19, we did, the 200 plus for those events, you remember, and we're down to a very modest 125 in this room, and that seems to work. Whether it just gets so big. But if anybody has a strong opinion on going to the gym, because the gym is lovely too now. It's got, good air quality in there. It's newer. It's certainly a nice big space. We can put the bar and the silent auction all in the same room, and in the lobby we can put the caterers. So it's really, it does work. Down here is just, it's a great way to sell this place too, because this is just so pretty. And that's it for me, except I did want to share a quick little story about what it means to have the senior center for some lives in this town. And Christy is modest and didn't want me to share the story, but I'm going to anyway. We have regulars, so when they don't come, either their colleagues in their group will ask, hey, where's so-and-so? And or Christy will notice that they were here. This one particular day, Christy called the person who didn't come, because they usually tell us when they're not coming, and there was no response. So Christy called a family member, and the family member went over to the person's house, and the client's car was in the driveway, and so we got the police to go out, and the person had an episode, and if it wasn't for Christy's, efforts in getting to know people, we don't just sign people up for programs. We're not and I don't mean this as a diss, we're not the rec department signing a parent up for, 3 kids for this program and they can go online and pay. We get to know people, and we know, a lot about them. And in that, I think it's just remarkable that this place could have had such an impact on someone's life. And I thank Christy for her quick efforts on that.
Well done.
We all do. And with that, I'll make a motion to accept the Human Services report. And I'll take a second. Jen? All in favor? Very good. Okay, on to me. Update on the community services update on the possibility of combining combining commissions. Nothing has happened that I'm aware of since the last time we put it on the agenda, so I don't really have any update.
I think that's the critical thing, is that we don't have an update.
So there hasn't, even though there's been, certainly some discussion from Mika and, about it, it really hasn't gotten down to a point where there's any planning, so we'll just wait and see.
Does that mean it's gonna possibly fall by the wayside, or does that mean they're just being?
That's not what we've been told.
We haven't been told that, but we haven't been told anything further than the last time we met, I think back in maybe May with Mika.
I think I was told that ordinance committee should be starting to look at it,
Okay.
and maybe personnel, but that's the only update I've had. I don't know if they are looking at it. I've not been invited. I did say that if ordinance looks at it, that definitely I should be in the room to discuss and how that would work, or rec, and we should be present, because volunteers are great and they understand the ordinances way better than I do, but I understand the daily work and staffing, so that was suggested. And I've not been contacted.
We'll share when we learn more. And I took a read of the draft POCD that Jeanette linked in your information that came to you for tonight's meeting. You can read it easily online.
I don't recommend printing.
No, it was a lot. I blew up my printer at home, printing it out. But I have to say, and it's not complete, but I have to say that due to the staff, and to Nancy, Jeanette, to Christy, efforts in getting detailed descriptions of human services programming, we now have a presence in it. We did not have much of a presence in the past POCD, so this is very, it's highlighting what we do, so kudos to the time that you took to write these pieces, and they looked like they just took them pretty much wholesale into the report, but they read very well. So if you take a look at this online, make sure that you look under the human services areas. They're referenced in a couple places, and any comments, any additions or subtractions or word usage, we have some time. There's a public hearing, which is attached in tonight's documents, on Wednesday, August 13th at 6 o'clock at Town Hall, and that is the time that I'm sure there'll be people coming to make public comment, and you can always put your public comment either in person that night or email it ahead of time, I think by 3 o'clock that day, as a resident. I'm not entertaining that we're going to take the time tonight to come up with a Human Services Commission response. But you as residents can certainly look at it and add any comments that you feel are important. I will highlight just a couple of things for you to look at. Page 39, they talk about the Woodbridge Center and the center building. And they talk about the age of the building, but they don't specifically address some of the issues that we've heard from Jeanette about the ADA compliance, the elevator, the ADA bathroom upstairs, or the need for it, the need for an ADA doorway to come into the gym. So I think that's something, I know that Jeanette will probably address, but take a look at that, because they talk about the age, but they don't specifically reference that. And where they could reference it is later on in the report. I think it's like page 86, where they talk about things that need to happen in the future. So I think it could be part of that page 39, and it should be part of future actions.
I think I did write a piece about the transition plan, because we did our last town transition plan, which is an ADA plan that talks about every building and every outdoor piece of property in terms of ADA compliance. And the last time it was done is 2010, which it should be updated every 10 years. And so, there's never a good time, but I had written that should be in our 10-year plan, is to accomplish that. It takes many departments working together, building maintenance, the building official, the ADA officer, and going into each building and working with parks. There are measurements to be done and compliance that, we need to indicate, and we're grandfathered in on some of it, but not all of it. So I just learned that the elevator in this building, though 36 inches on the first floor, and likely down here, on the second floor of the building is only 34 inches, which is not compliant. It loses an inch on each side, and so I don't know how that was done and how it was accepted, but these are the things that you learn if you go out and you start talking about the weight of a door, how many pounds of weight there. All the door handles through the building, are they accessible door handles? Those are the kinds of things. Slopes of ramps, steps, thresholds. Those takes a lot of work, a lot of man hours, which is why it hasn't been done since 2010 when Mary Ellen took it on. But it should be in this plan.
Yes, so.
Thank you
So
for mentioning
we have,
it.
so we have, I'm sure we'll meet and talk about it and make sure that we get comment in there. But the demographic section is interesting, and it supports what we've learned in earlier discussions about the growing demographic for our seniors. And so it's an interesting read to see where they predict that things are going to be in the next 10 years for the different age groups. So housing had one comment that, again, as a resident, if you have an opinion, you can, but there was on page 72 a comment about senior housing being put into the business district. I didn't copy the whole sentence, but that was pretty much the feeling that, in that sentence. So that's something, again, you can look at and respond to.
And that's something we said, because we talked about
Yes,
the
we did.
housing for seniors should be, in proximity to services,
Right.
which is so important.
There, and community facilities is, I think, the section where they talk again about the age of the building. So just places for you to look at.
They also generally talk about housing as a need for smaller homes
Yes.
that are appropriate for seniors and young families,
Right.
which I thought was good.
And there was a reference, I think at the end of the documents today, to an America 250 committee. So this was an email that we had
Like
gotten.
this?
Yes. So Mika sent an email to Jeanette and I, looking to form, to have a member of Human Services Commission come together with a representative from the Library Commission, Historical Society, the town clerk, a member of the Board of Selectmen, and a resident at large. Be part of this committee, which will be a liaison to the 250 anniversary of the
French
democracy.
year.
So that will be, what that's gonna look like in Connecticut or Woodbridge, I'm not sure, but one of you may be involved in that, so I'm hoping one of you might be interested, and you can send your name to Jeanette or I, and we can pass it along to Mika. I don't know any more than the document that you have, so read it over. If you have questions, let us know. Maybe we can find out from Mika, any answers. But could be an interesting thing to be part of. It's, there's time. It's another, year and a half away. So they're just trying to put this committee together. So just let us know if you have interest in that.
It's like when the town celebrated its 200th anniversary in 1984, anyway. So I was looking at this and it's been 50 years
Yeah.
since we did that. Oh my God. Been a while.
Any old business, new business?
Just the September date is incorrect. If you want
Right.
to mark your calendars for September 8th, not September 4th, please. My
You were nice
typo.
enough to do mine. You were nice enough to do mine.
And stay tuned for tomorrow for a poll for a time for Thursday. That's what we're hoping, right, for Thursday. And I'll make a motion to adjourn.
8:16?
It is 8:14 on my phone. We'll use mine because that's how we used it to start.
Well, then what time did you get?
7:02.
Jen's arrival, 7:08?
Yes,
Okay,
that's what I wrote.
okay.
I have a second. Okay, passes by acclamation. Thanks, Janet.